Hi everyone, and welcome to this guided training on making whiff cups. I'm going to lead you through how to do this guided nature play activity with your own students. So this activity is all about getting students engaging their sense of smell while out in nature, connecting low to the ground to discover and explore, as well as interacting with their environment in unique ways. So for this activity, you're only going to need two things. The first thing is a small reusable cup for every student. Now, for younger elementary students, the red Solo shot glasses actually work really well because they're a little bit smaller in diameter, but they're also a bit smaller in volume as well, so the students don't have to fill up the cup with quite as much stuff. Now, for upper elementary students, any sort of plastic reusable cup would be amazing. So the second thing you're going to need is a natural location with a variety of different scents. Things like fallen leaves, pine trees, soil, snow could even work really well for this activity. You're just going to want things that can create nice smells. Now, this activity is very, very simple, and every school has a location that will work. Even using the edge of a sports field can be a really great place to do this activity. So there's a couple different ways to enter this activity, but one of the best ways to do it is tell the students that they've been working really hard. So you want to give them a special Sunday surprise party. But instead of a regular Sunday party, they're actually going to be making their own special Earth Scoop flavors and make their own Whiff sundaes. Now we call them Whiff sundaes because you don't eat these sundaes, you actually smell them. So let's dive in and I will show you how to make these incredible Whiff sundaes. Alright, so the very first thing that we're going to need for our Whiff cup sundaes is a base. Now, I really like to use soil. I think it has a really cool, fun smell to it. You can use whatever you want. You can use leaves, you can use a bunch of pine needles, you can also use snow. That works really well as a base for your Whiff cup. Now, once you have a good base, the most important part of a Whiff cup is the toppings. Now, we have a very special way of finding toppings in the woods. We don't want to just be ripping up all the plants around us. We actually have a very special way of doing so that it doesn't harm the plants. Because we're trying to demonstrate that we are appreciating nature, we want to make sure that we're not harming any living things. It is okay to use living plants, but there's a special way to do it. So the way to do it is to grab a hold of the stem, just so you're not yanking the whole plant out, and very carefully just pulling one leaf off. And this way the plant can still flourish and grow while we can use this to appreciate. Now, in order to make the smells jump out of here, very gently show your students if they were to crush, rip, even scratch. Suddenly there's new smells that are going to jump out of these seemingly ordinary leaves, and we can put those right into our sundae. Now, different plants are going to have different varieties of smells. Things like pine is going to really jump out. Kids love to have that really nice Christmassy winter smell that they're familiar with. Pine needles on the ground are also a really great option. I have some here that I'll crush up. These are actually already dead and fallen, so they're perfect. And demonstrate to your kids crushing them up. They don't need to rip or pull, they can just twist, crush, scratch and sniff. Ah, it smells really good. And then place it right in the cup, and our cup is slowly coming together. What else do I want to add? Now, logs like this that are dead and decomposing, they have a lot of really interesting smells. And because it's dead, we're not harming any of the creatures inside already. So we're going to place that down. You can break some of these up, place them in your Whiff cup. You can challenge your students to make the yummiest smells they can. You can challenge them to make seasonal smells if you're doing this activity in the wintertime with snow. You could do holiday smells if you're doing it in the springtime. Earthy, growing smells are really fun. I, as a kid, always liked to try to make the stinkiest, yuckiest cup that I could using things like fungi, and I thought it was really fun. I'm sure your kids would like that too. And now our cup is coming together. Now, just like all good ice cream flavors, our Whiff cup is gonna need a name. And your class can help you with this. They're usually pretty creative. So I think I'm gonna call this flavor Earthy Ripple. And at this point, your class is probably gonna be pretty excited to go off and make their own Whiff cups. So before you let them wander independently and before you hand them their own cup, it's gonna be really important that you set some very clear visual boundaries for them. I usually like to point out large features that the kids can easily recognize. So I would say, we're gonna be staying in this area. Don't go past this big tree here. And does everyone see that big rock over there? We're not gonna go past that rock. Now in your mind, draw a big circle from the tree to the rock, all the way to this big tree over here, and from that big tree, all the way back to our big friendly tree here. And this is the area that we're going to stay in. And you can remind your class that you don't need to go far to find smells if they use that special tool of scratch and sniff, getting low and discovering like this, because the scents are hiding right here. So once the students have all made their whiff cups and thought of a really cool name, it's time for our whiff cup sundae party. So gather them all back up into the center, have each of them take their cup, and have all the students stand in a big circle. Now, tell the students, you're gonna take your cup, take a big whiff, and then pass it to your right. And where are you gonna get a new cup from? From your left. And then it will move around the circle. And that's the end of our whiff cup activity. Now, we can't take these back into the classroom with us, and we're all finished with our smells. So a really cool teachable moment for your students is to have them gather together and decide as a team what plant we want to give these back to. Is there a really cool tree in the area? Maybe your school has a little garden they can give this to, but we'll give this natural material back to the earth so that it can decompose and become a little Sunday snack for the forest. And now you just collect your cups back, give them a good wash because they might be a little bit dirty, and store them in your classroom for your next Sunday party. And that's the end of our whiff cup activity. We hope that you have a ton of fun taking your students out and exploring all the smells that the forest have to offer. Until then, happy discovering. Bye.